It's your boy King Crowder back again with another edition of history that you may not know and history that is not taught in detail for sure. Today's lesson, I want to go down to the island of Jamaica, basically an enslaved African encampment. Most people from Jamaica have 100% African lineage due to the transatlantic slave trade. But the person I would like to focus on today is Queen Nany of the Maroons. If you do not know, she was the one that freed over 1,000 enslaved Africans that were Jamaican lineage that become later been known Jamaican. The reason why she was so significant is that she took over most of the eastern part of the island. She was a leader in her own right. She was one that was the encampment that used in guerrilla warfare and a master of camouflage. Her people fought and freed parts of the island from the colonialists known as the British. The reason why she was such a big deal is that she spoke multiple dialects and language. She understood how to communicate and work within those encampments. She raised and handled all type of farms and terrain. She knew how to handle animals, crops, and knew how to galvanize the troops. Queen Nany literally changed the tide and made sure all the controlled area in the Blue Mountains were given to her legacy and lineage. They all patrolled the animals with a unique fighting tactic. They knew how to use things against the British rules and caused them to use successful war tactics that are still studied until this day. All of this action took place between 1728 and 1734 when the first Maroon War, Nany Town, started in Jamaica. One of the hype things that I think that was tremendous is that they knew how to work from a higher level of being, basically up in the air. They would use higher places to attack the British soldiers from different standpoints. The Queen Nany Maroons were a master of many skills, craftsmen, and elements. They know how to use knives, short barrels, trees, whatever lineage and things they could use to actively fight in war and battle. They knew how to disguise themselves in trees, and they used brutal tactics as far as cutting off the heads of their enemies to send strong signals. They single-handedly pushed the British soldiers' backs and make them go and single away from their village. Queen Nany is a Jamaican icon. She was a revolutionary, the Harriet Tubman of Jamaica. One reason why I think this issue is hugely to discuss, because just based off her tactics, how she moved and what she did showed that in most African communities that Black women leading was not a big deal at the time. They also had families, extreme legacy, but as far as giving orders and directions, sometimes when it came to military battles, it was never a huge disagreement or disappointment. The one reason why I think this lady needs to be analyzed and studied was how she galvanized her troop to attack certain center points. You must understand, most of these people never had extreme military backing, but she taught, she educated, she showed, and she displayed how to act in a wartime. The guerrilla warfare tactics was something we see all through history, from Genghis Khan to the Queen Nannies to the Seminole Wars. We see these tactics being used, and they are very effective. Queen Nany needs to be highlighted because the Whitehead Maroon takeover was a huge part of the Jamaican island. To this day, since 1975, she has her own Memorial Day. She has her own history, legacy, and lineage. They have given her a national holiday. They have put her on the money. Queen Nany of the Maroons needs to be celebrated. Hopefully you learn this part of history. Hopefully you learn this part of legacy. And I would advise you to check in and do more research. This is your boy King Crowder, checking back out with another edition of Untold Gem and Story that you may not know. I want you to please comment, like, or subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you learned something today.